All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, Introduction to Digital Strategy for Small Business. My name's James Flaherty and I'm your facilitator for today. Today's webinar is the second in CCIQ's Digital Learning Series, a 13-module program designed to help small and medium businesses across Queensland to engage with the digital economy, improving revenue, productivity and results. The webinar we've got for you today builds on from yesterday and provides a more in-depth look at digital planning and how your business can benefit from having a strong digital plan. Today's webinar is delivered in partnership with the Department of Tourism, Major Events, Small Business and the Commonwealth Games. And alongside me I have Paul Bebbington from the department who will present today's webinar. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks, James. I'm Paul Bebbington and I'm Web Content Editor with the Department of Tourism, Major Events, Small Business and the Commonwealth Games, known as DTESB. My main role is to craft business-focused content and solutions for the Business and Industry portal. And I've delivered a number of webinars on various topics, including business continuity planning, strengthening your business, and the ABA and ABLES.
Before we head into the main presentation, there's just some tips for us all to get the best out of today's webinar. We'll be on air for around an hour, and after the main part of the presentation, we'll have a Q&A session. Now, you can enter your questions into the text box that you should all have on screen at the moment. You can do that at any time, and we'll collate them as we go and ask Paul to answer as many as he can at the end of the presentation. Following on from today's webinar, you will all receive an email containing a copy of the presentation, a link to the recording of everything you see today, and a really valuable workbook that will help you go through the processes and plans and make sure that your business starts to thrive in the digital economy. So, Paul, it's now over to you for the bulk of today's presentation.
Thank you, James. And first of all, I'd like to give you a summary of what we're covering off today. It's worth saying that if you were at yesterday's webinar, that we'll be covering off some of that content as well. There's going to be a recap at the start. We're going to build on some of those ideas today in this webinar. So we're going to cover off what a digital strategy is. Most people think a digital strategy is something completely different to what it actually is. We're going to go through the individual elements of a digital strategy. And we're going to look at how you can map out where your business is currently at with this. What does a digital strategy look like? Digital strategy it's an extension of your current business plan, and it should over time adapt and change with the market and emerging technologies the same way your business plan does. At every level of your business plan, you should be able to map out digital initiatives that improve your business efficiencies or turnover. And you can see some of the details up on the screen of ideas around these digital strategies. Now, for example, under finance, the opportunities to get digital are endless. This component of your business plan could undergo digital transformation, you could call it, through moving to cloud-based accounting solutions, by taking and receiving orders and payments through an e-commerce website, or moving in-field staff to digital devices, for example iPads. It could involve taking customer orders or creating invoices on the run and even collecting payments. A digital strategy helps to take these, what you might seem disjointed elements, and bring them together as one cohesive strategy. Yeah.
Is on screen now. Do you have a digital strategy for your business? Please select one of the options and we'll have the results through to you very shortly. And it's interesting to note we obviously asked this question as part of yesterday's poll, so we'll get a good comparison of the results. But also within the digital readiness study that CCIQ undertook with our partners at Mail, we found that only 1 in 4 businesses had a digital strategy. So it'll be a really good gauge today to see how advanced our listeners are on the process.
Definitely. I mean, it's a good. It'll be good to see a comparison because this has sort of been pitched as more of an intermediate webinar, and it's definitely an important thing to look at because you don't want to be left behind as a business. It's about giving yourself a leading edge when it comes to this kind of space, the digital space.
And the results we've got in are broadly similar to yesterday, with about 28%, I think it was 29% yesterday, had a digital strategy ready for their business. We've got a lot of businesses out there, over 50%, that don't have a strategy, so we'll really benefit from this session. And the 16% who aren't sure at the moment, again, we'll get some great insights and great information from the presentation that Paul will take you through.
That's great. There is a real need to make sure you don't get left behind in this space. And so this leads in quite well to the next section where we're going to talk about where we are as a nation around this. So Deloitte conducted a major study in 2013 of small businesses with some interesting findings. So 16% of small businesses are making the most of the web with high digital engagement. There are 25% that have medium digital engagement. 24% of small businesses have what you might call low digital engagement, and you then have 35% who have very low digital engagement. And we're talking about not even using the internet at all. So ask yourself, how engaged is your business in the digital economy? Now, how would you rate your business based on the Deloitte category? So they talk about very low as being nil to very low activity, that is not even using the internet. Low means you might have some basic controls and measures that use technology. Medium means more advanced controls and digital tools. And then the high category is about full automation, and we're talking about a digital-centric business where it's part of every aspect of their business. So why do you need a digital strategy? There's a lot of research into best practice businesses who've undergone digital transformation and come out being more profitable. Now, digital or technology can create a ripple effect inside your business, a ripple effect of efficiency. For example, Prowlerproof, their BDMs are 3 times more productive than they were through the use of an online ordering system, moving them from order takers to true business development managers. And what makes up a digital strategy? The strategy is made up of 9 elements, and we'll go through each of these in detail. You've got online presence, so what customers see online about your business, that is your website, Facebook page, mobile website. There's digital marketing, which is about promoting your business online, for example, Google AdWords or banner ads. You've got selling online, which is about goods and services and e-commerce solutions. Customer interaction. This is the ability to connect with customers online. So it might be about self-service via FAQs, frequently asked questions. Could be forums, live chat, or you might offer support through your Facebook or social media channels. And it also might be using a CRM or customer relationship management software. There's online security, which involves data backups both on-site and off-site, and policies around bring your own device, or BYOD, that you can use. It's about use of company information or data. And then there's another aspect is supplier interaction. And what we mean here is automatic reordering based on past sales demand, and it could involve two-way feedback from clients to their suppliers. We've also got mobile-based solutions, so using mobile applications either as custom internal applications or publicly available ones, and it could involve the movement to creating a mobile-specific website. There's efficiencies that can be had through technology. You can create internal efficiencies, that might be through custom mobile application to replace internal business processes, or by using automated marketing solutions. We're also talking about cloud computing, either as software as a service or infrastructure as a service, which can allow you to have the best technology or software at the fraction of what it costs to buy up front. What are the key things on the horizon? We're going to delve into some of the more exciting opportunities that exist for businesses that are already on their digital journey. And we're going to provide you with information about some commonly used digital industry terms and how you can apply them to your business. Now, cloud computing is a general term for anything involving the delivery of hosted services over the internet. These services include infrastructure as a service, which is where your business outsources the equipment you need to support your operations. Imagine having a screen, keyboard and mouse on your desk, and then strapped to the back of the computer monitor is a small micro PC that's powered by a supercomputer connected to the internet. Businesses can save on capital expenditure by moving into operational expenditure. Software as a service is about purely accessing a software program via the internet rather than having the software physically installed on the machine. So all data sits in a virtual server online, but not locally on the computer. It's accessed across machines, as the user can simply log on to a new computer and have full access to their programs and data. One of the benefits of moving to a cloud environment is your ability to have data secured in a 99% safe environment with numerous levels of redundancy, security and backup. Another core benefit is it gives you access to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of technology and software for a monthly fee. You have the ability to scale up or scale down usage and fees based on how much work you have and the number of staff requiring access. Similarly, using the cloud environment will reduce capital expenditure on hardware and the associated infrastructure and services. Beyond the benefits of easier admin and automatic software updates, patch management, your business and team will benefit from global accessibility. So you have the ability to access information anywhere, anytime. Now, moving to a cloud solution may not be the best answer for all businesses. Like all business solutions, there are some downsides to cloud computing. For example, by moving to a cloud environment, you do lose direct control over your business IT solutions, such as having no input onto how your services or updates are managed. Another issue you might face with some service providers is their data centers are not located in Australia. Storing data offshore raises a raft of security and trust issues, as in circumstances data might move across foreign jurisdictions, which each might have its own set of rules. Finally, be aware that the term cloud's become a marketing buzzword, so it's critical to dig deep and make sure the cloud solution you're accessing is the cloud solution you really require. Online selling. It's a big topic, and there are some key things you need to think about. Mobile commerce is rapidly growing in Australia, and Domino's Pizza is a great example. So 50% of their sales now come from online resources, and 40% of those sales now come from a mobile phone. Sales outlet aussale.com.au turns its mobile e-commerce store on an hour earlier than their web store to help encourage customers to buy using the mobile phone. At a minimum, look at a mobile-friendly version of your e-commerce store. Now, Facebook Commerce, you can use the Facebook application tool and create a version of your e-commerce store in Facebook, meaning customers can buy and share what they've bought via Facebook without leaving that online store. There's also business-to-business efficiencies on offer. It's not just about business to customers, it can also be about business-to-business sales, and can extend to automation of your ordering system, where rather than customers faxing or calling your sales team to place an order, they place it online. It's all about building tools that increase efficiency of your teams. A good example of how a Queensland business emphasised the importance of online selling is Prowler-Proof, which is a manufacturer of security doors and windows. All Prowler-Proof customers perform transactions using their proprietary software, which allows them to make the order at any time of the day or night. Now, as a result of moving to this channel, Prowler-Proof customers no longer need to call or fax orders through. Everything is managed through the online ordering system. And the end result for the company is their sales staff moved from being order takers to being proactive salespeople looking for more clients and resellers. Some of the advantages of integrating online sales into your business include you can trade 24/7, so you can establish an e-commerce store that allows customers to purchase easily from you whenever they want, even when your shop doors are closed. It allows you to trade across geographical borders, so your customers are not just they might not just be around the corner anymore, they could be sitting at the Edinburgh Festival, dancing in Cuba or by the pool in Fiji. Your store is available from anywhere, and your ability to manage your store is equally as mobile. It offers a more convenient sales channel for some people, and in many cases opening your business up to a new customer market. So repeat visitors who make purchases every time, they're the holy grail you're seeking. So to achieve this, remember to plan and implement the best marketing strategies available to you for your online store. It can also be a very cost-effective channel when done correctly, even down to the automation of good record keeping, which records every online activity your customers engage in through your store. And this can be used to improve customer interactions as well as to analyse your store's growth. Every business needs to sell online. So before you consider opening up this sales channel, you need to ensure your business model and the intended channel can be developed efficiently. Shipping costs and the time it takes for a product to arrive at your customer's door may prevent your business from selling certain products or finalising those sales. Make sure you choose products for your online store that can be easily delivered and where shipping does not cost more than the actual product. You're adding another sales channel to your business that needs to be managed, and it's one that may have to have increased complexities with respect to logistics and customer returns, that kind of thing. As with any sales channel, establishing, maintaining and growing an online store requires resourcing and marketing. It might also require you to step outside the box, keep learning and to try new or unexplored business ideas. An online store requires your business to have multiple lines of contact for customers and potential customers. There's also an expectation for you to respond quickly to all customer requests, potentially from outside Australian business hours. And to provide best customer experience, expectation management is a must.
Great stuff. Thanks, Paul. Time now for our second poll question. So are you currently selling online? Again, choose one of the three options and we'll have the results through shortly. And once again, our research that we undertook at the back end of last year with our partners at Mail in the Digital Readiness Study shows us that only 1 in 5 Queensland businesses are making money online. And the scary thing from a business perspective is that there are billions of dollars being spent by consumers and businesses online each year. So as a small business, if you can get your business model to work, it gives you that opportunity to channel into all of that money that's sloshing around out there.
Certainly. I mean, I think it's important to look at not being left behind in this space, because as well as converting leads to sales, it's also about your reputation. And so sometimes there's the first point of call or port of call for potential customers, and it's the first impression of your business. It also can generate positive word of mouth, which is a crucial thing. So it's very important to think about this space and to also look at your competitors and what they're doing in this space.
We've got the results in, and 33% are actually selling online. So that's great news, because that's above the averages for just about all of the research we're seeing at the moment. And to the 2/3 of you out there who aren't, I'm sure this presentation will give you some great tips on how you can go forward and look at the channels and get your products to market in a different way.
That's right, and that's great, James, and also it's worth considering doing an audit to see where you can improve your business and look at the various options available for you and attracting the customers that you want. So we'll move on to marketing, and we'll start by talking about customer relationship management. So keeping a customer you've already got is much better than trying to find new customers, and a CRM or system enables staff to be able to keep a log of information about customers. A good example of this is Caroma, which is one of Australia's leading manufacturing companies for bathroom and sanitary ware products. The company has created a mobile app for plumbers to let them find information and installation data for each of the Caroma products quickly and easily. So the product acts as a pocket guide, which helps plumbers to correctly fit Caroma products, along with critical information about the overall business. Another opportunity is remarketing or marketing automation. This is a huge buzzword at the moment. So remarketing is a feature that lets you reach people who have previously visited your site. For example, when people leave your site without buying anything, remarketing helps you connect with these potential customers again. You can even show them a tailored message or offer that will encourage them to return to your site and complete a purchase. And digital marketing can include anything from Google AdWords, social media, advertising, creating and sending newsletters, or email marketing, that kind of thing. One of the greatest benefits of using digital marketing is you engage and develop individual relationships with customers. So unlike any other broadcast medium, digital channels allow direct and personalised two-way interaction with your customers. So in digital marketing, everything can be measured. And the fact that it's highly quantifiable is one of the key strengths. So for your business, you can measure customer behaviour through to actions and action paths, and finally to the end results and how efficiently this happens. So being such a measurable environment, your return on investment is easy to track through web analytics tools like Google Analytics. And these tools, they give you the ability to track where your money is best spent by following a click on an online advertisement through to the purchase of your product or service. The fast-paced nature of digital marketing can make reaching large audiences quite difficult. So digital marketing can be extremely time-consuming, and posting content to social media sites, editing audio and video clips, learning how to use new software and hardware, staying up to date, all of these things take time, and the constant learning curve means that digital marketing projects have a tendency to take longer than expected. Digital media can also be frustrating. Often technologies don't work as expected, and dealing with these problems can take time and persistence, so they need to be factored in. The concept of bring your own device is rapidly gaining momentum. So staff use their personal smartphones, laptops at work, that kind of thing, as part of their day-to-day jobs. So consider the policies you need to have in place to make sure data isn't lost, particularly if the personal equipment dies or is stolen. You don't want to have any critical information in them. BYOD, bring your own device, comes with many advantages along with numerous disadvantages too. One of the key benefits is the shift of hardware capital costs from the business to staff members. So according to a good.com study, 50% of employees are happy and prepared to purchase and supply their own equipment. Now this leads to another benefit, worker satisfaction. Your employees have their own laptops, tablets and smartphones for a reason. those are the devices they prefer to use, so much so they've invested their own money in buying them. Encouraging staff to bring their own highly regarded devices to work rather than supplying one through the company is often regarded as adding to your team's positive work experience. In addition, these devices are generally more cutting edge, so your business benefits from the latest features and the capabilities that are part of this device. Before implementing a BYOD strategy, it's critical you develop a policy to uphold what you might call the integrity of your business data. So while it's more challenging to enforce a policy on how your staff members can and cannot use their own mobile device, it's very important to formalise your own policies. So you need to consider the security requirements of allowing personal devices to connect to company data and networks, and what the process will be around backing up that data, and what happens to the data if the employee leaves the business.
Great. Time for our next poll question. So as an organisation, do you allow your staff to use their personal devices at work? Once again, please select a response and we'll have the results through shortly. I think this will be an interesting one, Paul, because it's going to be interesting to see the balance between increased productivity, reduced capex, and then the idea of security and storage of data.
That's definitely right. I mean, it's an issue, and that sort of security of data comes into customer privacy and other issues too. It's very important to consider all of those things. And the other thing is about support for those devices too. How much support can you provide for their preferences of how they use these devices? How many devices can you support?
Excellent. We've got the results coming through now. So 61% of businesses do allow staff to use their personal devices at work, and 39% no. And I guess the thing from those results is just make sure you go through that checklist you outlined, Paul, to make sure you've got policies in place and appropriate ways of ensuring your safety and security of your information.
That's right. It can be a bit of a cultural shift because you're asking people to think of these devices that they feel a certain level of ownership about in terms of the business's interests, particularly in terms of that data and information that needs to be protected. So, but yes, it is definitely a massive movement at the moment towards BYOD. So it's worth having your ideas in place so you can talk to staff properly about it. Now, this moves us quite cleanly into the area of cloud software. So this kind of software comes in a whole lot of shapes and sizes, and you can use cloud apps like Podio or Basecamp for project management. There's Harvest for time tracking, Salesforce and HighRise HQ for CRM. You can use Dropbox or Box.net for file sharing. I mean, the list goes on. You've probably heard about quite a few of these. And one of the core benefits of going cloud is it allows you to extend a piece of software using an API. And this means that a customer who signs up for more information on the website will have the data automatically pushed to the CRM, so it's automating processes within the business. Also, if you look at cloud-based accounting solutions, one of the key benefits is the ability to connect it with the bank for automatic bank reconciliation. Another benefit of being able to create invoices and track expenses from your mobile phone. The same kind of thing applies with cloud-based point-of-sale solutions and using an iPad as a point-of-sale system, for example. The other benefit is the real-time data that can be drawn from all of this. One of the core benefits of moving to cloud is the ability to access information anywhere, anytime. And many solutions offer a dedicated mobile application so you can view reports on demand, for instance. You can spread the financial burden over the entire calendar year too, because it usually comes with that monthly fee. And being in a cloud environment, all data is backed up frequently on an external server, or should be. Which will allay concerns about the data being lost through an office disaster. It's worth asking about this too with your cloud provider, what their policies are. Another key benefit of moving to a cloud-based software environment is the ability to build on what's provided. This means your developers can write custom add-on software to automatically connect and interface with existing software. An example of this is an employee of a trades-based business can create and send an invoice for a job while they're still on the job site, rather than waiting until returning to the office to get the admin staff to raise the invoice. By moving to a cloud environment, you don't physically own the software your business is using, and this can present some issues. Your cloud solution requires a live internet connection to work, so it does not work if you don't have a working internet connection. This is another factor to note when you're sourcing a cloud provider, and also when developing your business risk and continuity planning. It's also important to note here that depending on your settings, data may be cached to your computer, meaning you might be able to access files offline as required, for example with Dropbox. And this type of system is what you might call partly cloudy, so you have access to your files at all times, regardless of your broadband connection. And storing data offshore raises a raft of security and trust issues. It's a key point to remember when developing your data security strategy and data sovereignty. It's more important as privacy regulations change. When you move to cloud-based software, it's important you choose a software solution that meets the requirements of your business risk mitigation strategy. So be aware that the term cloud has become a marketing buzzword, so it's critical you dig deep to make sure that the solution you're accessing is what you really require. Mobility is one of the fastest growing sectors. The concept of telecommuting is becoming more and more the norm in businesses globally. Employees, they're using laptop computers rather than fixed PCs and relying on smartphones and tablets to connect with customers, colleagues and their business critical systems. Mobility solutions include taking mobile payments using tools like PayPal here and Combank's Pi and Leo, cloud-based solutions, specifically using an iPad as a point of sale, cloud-based accounting solutions, allowing you to invoice or undertake payroll, access account information, that kind of thing remotely. You might consider a bespoke solution where a customer application is built for your business. This could include apps to improve your customer's user experience when dealing with your business. A simple example of this is your bank providing an app which allows you to check your balances wherever and whenever you want. Customized apps can also be used to assist your staff to perform their jobs more quickly and to track and back up information more efficiently or to communicate more easily. And this assists in decreasing your expenditure and increasing your team's efficiencies. The Chroma application is a great example of an app that a business has provided to add value to their customers' experience with the product range. It provides installation tips, instructions, and where they can buy, product codes, features, and the benefits, that kind of thing. It's a very good example, and I'd urge you to have a look at it. One of the core benefits of mobile solutions is the ability to access quality internet wherever, whenever, which enables your business to continue outside the four walls of the office. So it provides your staff, out on the road in particular, with the ability to be constantly connected back to a central business location. And leveraging mobile technologies can result in the competitive advantages for your company, which might involve enhanced customer experience, efficiencies, flexibility, product and service innovation, and access to new markets. The first weakness to consider is everyone has a different mobile device, which means trying to standardize your mobile platform can be expensive. The second is that managing the maintenance and updates of the applications across constantly changing platforms will be an expense. Security is another risk. So mobile devices can be stolen or lost, and confidential information can be put at risk. They're also susceptible to malware and viruses, just like any other computing platform is. Also, mobile devices don't have a big screen like a desktop or laptop, so there are some things you can't do efficiently. The Department of Tourism, Major Events, Small Business and the Commonwealth Games has created a framework for a small business digital readiness audit tool. The audit tool helps you understand where your business is at digitally. It's about looking at where you're digitally deficient and where you have strengths. It should give you a clear idea where your business is positioned on a continuum from beginner to advanced. And the audit tool is in the workbook that you can download as part of this webinar. The tool enables you to quickly and easily understand where your business is at, whether you're a novice or consolidating at the moderate stage or leading to the advanced stage. You can work through each of the elements in the digital audit and work out your current position. For example, you might have a standard generic brochure website, and to move to the consolidated stage, the medium stage, you might consider adding an e-commerce provision and committing to a monthly content strategy for the website. Once you've done the audit, you'll be able to work through the action plan tool. So you can map out what steps you need to take to progress to the next level. The steps include audit, which is about understanding your position, research. It's important to ask as many people as possible to get a big opinion on what the next step should be for you. There's an action stage, which is about an action list of steps to help you reach that goal. The define stage, which is about writing down a statement about what success would look like when you complete your action plan and once the process is underway in your business. It might be as simple as do $1,000 a week in sales on average via our online store. So in summary, a digital strategy is more than just social media, websites and buying staff iPads. It should be an integral part of your business plan. So look at each stage of your business plan and assess how you could achieve efficiency gains through the use of technology or software. Consider benefits that come from cloud computing, selling online, say be it business to business or business to customer, and using mobile commerce solutions. Look at efficiency gains that might come from moving to a mobile solution to replace paper-based tasks. Recognise the importance of marketing your business online. Audit your business and understand where you're at. Then create an action plan to proceed to the next level.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Paula. A hugely insightful presentation that I'm sure will have provided a lot of food for thought for all of our listeners out there today. Time now for some questions. Don't forget you can add questions at any time using the text box that you should have on screen. Anything that comes through, we'll do our best to answer. If it's extremely specific, we may well take it offline and see if we can follow up with a more detailed response if possible. In terms of our questions, we've had a fair few through already, and the first one really comes in around remarketing. So how can a business go about remarketing within their current business activities?
Yeah, look, I mean, remarketing, to give you an example, a few weeks ago I went and looked at a pair of sunglasses online, and I was interested in buying it. But something happened during the sales process that meant that I couldn't complete the transaction. And then a day or two later I received an email saying that we noticed that you didn't complete the transaction. Please come back and buy. And this particular website also offered me a 5% discount just as a little sweetener. This is a good example. Another one is, sites like Amazon do this all the time where you might be looking at a particular product, and then at the bottom of that page they'll have examples of, people who bought this product also bought these products. So it'll give you a sense, it leads customers through a pathway that says, oh, so this is your interest. Here are other things that people who have your interests look at as well. So these are very good examples. It's all about making sure you don't people aren't prevented from making those sales, and also communicating with them afterwards to try and build up that relationship and say, what happens, what can we do to help you to finish the transaction, that kind of thing.
In terms of multimedia, we've got a question in around this business can only afford to market themselves via one channel at the moment. Which one would they look to invest in first?
It really comes down to your business and who your customers are. So it's a good idea to look into the preferences of your customers. If you know a bit about them and how they like to use social media, for instance, then you might choose your channels based on that. Do they want to interact with you, or do they want a regular news update? For instance, you might look at Twitter. Sometimes people just like to follow a business to get updates. Other times, if you want to have if you have a business that produces things that are very visual, you might look at some of the more visual channels like Facebook and Pinterest, that type of thing. It comes down to what you can maintain, but also what your customers prefer to do.
Absolutely, and look, I'd sort of echo that perspective as well. I think if you spend time and invest time in how you think you can best tell your story, you will find the right channel for you. So and play with each one, and there'll be some channels that will stay there perpetually. Like Facebook is not going to disappear in the short term. Pinterest is looking like it's becoming really popular. Flickr seems to have staggered a little bit. So have a look around and make sure that you decide, knowing on what for your customers, where you're going to get your best return on investment. The next question we've got in is around how do you go about generating and maintaining the interest of your customers through social media channels?
Look, that's really about knowing your customers really well, I'd say, and it's a good idea to use analytics to see what they are clicking on and what they're wanting to see versus what you might be putting up that there's no response to. So it's about understanding the medium too. It is a social medium, so you shouldn't hit them with hard and fast marketing messages. You need to look at what do they like, what are they likely to want to hear from you, how can they interact with you. So you might ask them for their contribution on things. What do you think about this? Asking them questions. It's also a good idea to offer them things too. So if they've bought a certain set of products, you might have downloads that are useful to them or new ways to interact with your business, and also make sure it's part of your brand. So whatever it is that appeals to them about your business, make sure that all of your messages support the idea and build that relationship.
I've got another question about one of those fantastic buzzwords. So can we explain a bespoke solution?
Well, I suppose bespoke's that old word from tailoring, I suppose, the old bespoke suit. It's really about having something tailor-made for your business so that you can, so that it suits your situation rather than having by going out and buying an existing product that may or may not fit with what you need in your business. And so it's worth looking at the cost of this. Obviously, these things tend to be more expensive rather than off-the-shelf solution. But if you talk it through with local providers, then you might find that it just meets your needs so much better. So you just got to weigh that up for your business and what you can afford.
And in terms of a digital strategy, how often should a business go about performing updates?
Look, this should really be a constantly updated thing. So you'd be building it into your business plan. It's not, however often you update your business plan, you should be looking at your digital strategy. But also you should be measuring everything. As we said, it's a very measurable area. So you need to constantly look at what's successful for you and what's worth putting the effort into to get those results and reach those customers.
And look, to echo that, I think one of the many mistakes that people make, whether it's a marketing plan, whether it's a digital strategy plan, is they create a plan to tick a box to say that they've done a plan, and they print the plan off and they put the plan in the top drawer of their desk, and they never look at it again until it's time to go back and tick a box for the next year's planning cycle. So the one thing I'd sort of add to that is keep your digital strategy as almost like a living document. The one thing we know with IT and technology is it moves so quickly that you can't plan on a yearly basis. It's about keeping it fresh, and it's about making sure that it continues to evolve as your requirements continue to evolve. Our next question is around online payment gateways. A great bit of feedback here. Where people are often overwhelmed with the number of options available. So where do you start?
Look, that's a great question, James. So, I mean, there are a whole range of options out there, but some of the factors you might want to consider are that there'll be sign-up fees involved, so you need to consider how that fits into your budget. And then also there would be transaction fees, so you need to look at whether you can afford to handle those. You need to look at what countries and currencies are supported by the gateway, so this will very much come back to who your customers are and who you expect them to be in the next 2, 5 or 10 years. And also what kind of customer support is provided. I mean, this is a crucial experience for your customers, so if this breaks down on you, that can be disastrous. So you really need to know how you can go about getting things rectified and how quickly you can get them fixed. So also you need to look at what you can sell via the gateway, so there might be restrictions on that kind of thing. That's just a basic primer, but it's worth considering these things as you consider the options.
We've had a question from Linda around cloud providers, and how do we know if a cloud provider is reputable, and what are some quality cloud providers in Australia?
Look, I mean, it's a very big question. I mean, I'd probably go and you need to look at what software you're looking at. That's the thing.
Yeah, look, I'd agree. It's like any supply source. You need to know, firstly, what is the solution you're looking for, because a cloud provider of email will probably be different to a cloud provider of storage, which will probably be different to a cloud provider of CRM. It's really about doing your due diligence as you would with any supplier, Linda. If it's no different in many ways to buying any product or service. You go through the appropriate checks, you find people who are using the system, you get testimonials, and that'd be my sort of first part of advice. What we'll do today is we'll attach a PDF onto the email that we'll send out, which has been developed by a business that we partner with at CCIQ, which is called Surety IT, and they've developed a neutral guide to the sort of 10 questions you need to ask any supplier before you should go about engaging them in the IT arena. There are reputable providers out there. There are a number out there in Australia at the moment. You've got the likes of Amazon, who are providing a great deal of information and services around storage. CCIQ, we partner with a company called NYP, who are a Brisbane-based business who've developed a CRM solution tailored for small business, and we'll provide a link to that on the email. So it's really a case of doing your due diligence, finding out what is out there, find the solution that's best for you, and just trying to get a good feel for who that organization is, and ultimately will they meet your needs, and will they provide the level of service that you're looking for. I think that's look. That's all the questions we've had in today, and have got time to go through at the moment. So thank you all to everybody who sent those through. That really wraps up today's webinar. So on behalf of CCIQ, thanks to our presenter Paul Bebbington from the Department of Tourism, Major Events, Small Business and the Commonwealth Games, and thanks to the department for supporting today's webinar. The next webinar in the learning series will focus on digital marketing and will be presented by CCIQ partner 2 Cents. So head along to cciq.com.au/events to book your place. And what you'll find is as you go through the series, each topic that we've selected will go towards answering and providing further insight into the topics Paul's spoken about today. So we've got sessions on CRM, we've got sessions on digital marketing, on mobile working, through to everything from web design to how you go about maximizing your Facebook presence. So register for as many of the sessions as you can, because they will really go a long way to helping you to answer a lot of the questions that we know that small businesses have out there at the moment. So thanks for joining us on today's webinar. Remember to check your emails later on today for an email that will outline the presentation. It'll provide you with some links and some additional information that we'll send through to you. So on behalf of CCIQ, we look forward to welcoming you on another webinar in the near future, and thank you for joining us today.